Busy?
Really busy. It's actually one of the football seasons is over, so it's gonna calm down a little bit. But we still have lacrosse and all those cheers now. So it's definitely calmer than it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. What's the
It was
winner?
like every night we were going somewhere.
I can't imagine that.
And I was like, I can come back and shoot one game. I'm gonna trade out with Ed.
It's the happiest guy in the newsroom lately. They sent him to New York yesterday. We never used to do that stuff. We went to Philly last year, but that was the only away game we went to.
Yeah.
So,
Because the last few times I went to New York or Philly, they tried to make them day trips. I'm like, dude,
that's what they did yesterday.
I went to Philly on a shot game and came back on a day trip.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I still remember that. You just told me that story.
There's been some months. One of his guys was talking to me. Joe Hamlin, I talked to Joe Hamlin last week. Because I was shooting live and it's like tomorrow. You know, she
would like to count her in. Yeah?
Oh, we're not coming yet.
Pardon?
We're not. No, not yet.
Put out the word Christmas start.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think I hear some taps.
If I do this move, will you see me?
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, okay.
If you stir, we can see you a little better. I see it. Perfect. Sound like the invisible man over there.
What about?
See him? Yes, sorry. Yeah, I can still see it.
Let me see real quick.
See me here? Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna get out.
Sorry, guys. No. I need y'all closer. Okay, Alana. Is your name with me? Can you back up just a little bit? Sorry, guys. Sorry.
That's a little,
You said what?
that temperature board seems like it was washing out.
They are like here.
No, I just go with it. I mean, I can make out.
Okay. I think this is good.
Not bad.
We have gas tank.
Better.
You have a switch? Okay. But I want. Yeah, like. Because they would. Oh, do you have a wide shot? Is it?
I have it. You wanna
shot
see it?
back? Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say tight like that.
This is ASL. Okay. What is a tight shot? Yeah. Oh wait, did y'all take it?
One here. One on that side.
Hold on, I need y'all to stay right there. Sorry.
Record tape is rolling. Hey guys.
Yeah, we have a ASL. No one's going past.
Next one.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Muriel Bowser, I'm Mayor of Washington, D.C., and I would like to welcome you to MPD's new state-of-the-art Joint Operations Command Center, or the JOC as we call it. We have just come from Shiloh Baptist Church, where we had a special gathering of our community for interfaith service. It was a powerful reminder of what we can achieve when we stand together in faith, hope, and being uplifted in our DC values. So let me start first by saying thank you to all the members of my team who have been working tirelessly on our preparations, including everyone here at MPD, led by Chief Pamela Smith, Deputy Mayor Lindsay Apia, members of my executive office as well, and staff who have worked tirelessly preparing for this important event, including members of our transportation team and our public works team who are out in the city every single day, making sure that we are safe and secure. So let me just say something about elections and voting in D.C. Beginning with early voting last week and through Election Day tomorrow and up until the inauguration, our team has one focus, and that is how to keep Washington, D.C. safe and secure for residents and visitors. Throughout election week and beyond, we will be operating right here in this new command center side by side with our federal and local partners. This facility is the nerve center of MPD's operations, allowing us to work seamlessly with law enforcement agencies and coordinate major events across the city. Beyond the JOC, our Emergency Operations Center and Joint Information Center will be operating at our HCMA headquarters located nearby, and they too will be fully activated. These centers allow us to respond quickly to any potential security concerns and deliver timely, accurate information to the public. These activations will ensure that we are keeping up with information real time and can deliver that information to our residents. And so this brings me to another essential point. We're asking everyone to stay informed and rely on trusted sources for updates. In this age of misinformation, I want to ensure that everyone gets their information from official sources. If you haven't already done so, please sign up for Alert DC to receive timely information from us, from the DC government, directly to your phone. Now, with Election Day tomorrow, all Washingtonians should know this: when and where to vote if you haven't already done so. Whether you're voting in person at one of our 75 polling places, you may also drop off a mail-in ballot, or if you all have already voted, you of course can remind neighbors and friends that voting is open in the district beginning at 7 a.m. through 8 p.m. at 75 polling places. The DC Board of Elections runs elections in the District of Columbia, and you can go to their website for location information. Remember, you may vote in person beginning at 7 a.m. through 8 p.m. or drop off your ballot at a drop box. A key message that I want to emphasize today is to be patient. While we anticipate timely results from DC races, the presidential race may take more time. That is expected. All signs point to a close race that could take time for all of the states to release their declared winner. So I want to mention a series of planned events around the city, including the Vice President's campaign event at Howard University. The United States Secret Service leads the security planning, but we're working closely with them to provide additional support, and Chief Smith will speak more about that. Finally, I want to reiterate that our agencies are working together with federal partners to ensure a peaceful transition of power. So with that, I will turn to Chief Pamela Smith of the Metropolitan Police Department.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. As the Mayor noted, we have been focused on ensuring the safety and security of all of our residents, visitors, and businesses here in the district. MPD's collaborative work with our partners, HCMA, OUC, Fire and EMS, various district agencies, as well as our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners, allow us to manage large events seamlessly while keeping our city safe. Since our update last week, MPD has successfully managed a series of major events that brought tens of thousands of people to our city, from the Marine Corps Marathon and the High Heel Race to the Vice President's campaign rally at the Ellipse and dozens of Halloween events that occurred throughout our city, And finally, this Saturday's Women March, which brought thousands of demonstrators to the heart of our city. MPD's strategic planning and presence ensured that thousands of people could come to this city to exercise their First Amendment rights peacefully and safely. We will continue to successfully manage events on this scale if they arise this week and continue to do so through January's inauguration. Our team has been fully engaged and vigilant. We are the best in the country at what we do, and we will keep working around the clock to keep Washington, D.C. safe and to keep our residents safe. Tomorrow is Election Day, and our officers will be paying close attention to polling places, ensuring all Washingtonians safely get to and from polls to cast their votes. Additionally, there will be major impacts to residents near and around Howard University's campus, where the Vice President is holding her election night watch party. Closures will go into effect tonight at 7 p.m. Among the closures is a stretch of Georgia Avenue between Harvard and V Street Northwest. The full list of closures is available on our website. Maps of the security zone around Howard are also posted behind me. There it is, okay. We are working closely with our partners at Howard and also our partners with the U.S. Secret Service, which is the lead on this event, as the mayor noted very, very eloquently. Our officers will be assisting the Secret Service on the perimeter of the event and ensuring everyone who comes out tomorrow night gets to and from this event safely. MPD is already in a full activation posture. In addition to the security around Howard University, you will notice increased patrols in key areas downtown and around the White House. This proactive presence is a preventive measure, and while there is no credible threat to the District of Columbia, we want residents and visitors alike to feel assured that MPD is here, prepared, and dedicated to keep communities safe across all 7 districts. This room that you're in right now is the heart of the Metropolitan Police Department's operation. Our new Joint Operations Command Center enables us to coordinate efficiently with our partners and keep a real-time pulse on the city's safety landscape. This center has been activated for numerous events, including the 2024 NATO Summit, other high-profile gatherings, and most recently, Halloween night. I want to thank Mayor Bowser for the investment that she has made to not just this job, but also to our expanded camera network, now with 410 fixed cameras, 18 mobile trail cameras, along with 200 more cameras slated to be installed this year. And improved regional integration equips us to monitor and respond promptly to any developing situation. The JOC will be activated tomorrow morning and continue running for as long as the events warrant. Additionally, as part of our safety plan, we're leveraging our new helicopter, Falcon 1, and drones to enhance our ability to monitor and protect key areas across the district. We made these investments to strengthen our air support assets this year for the very purpose of managing and protecting events that bring large crowds to our city. Throughout this period, our real-time crime center, backed by the Camera DC Connect program, will continue to monitor incidents citywide and ensure we continue to make progress in driving crime down. Since April, we've had more than 40,000 people register their security cameras with our Camera Connect DC program. As we head into this busy period, we continue to lean on our residents and our businesses alike to register their cameras with us. All of our public safety agencies across the district are fully engaged in preparations. The district's Emergency Operations Center at HSEMA is now activated to coordinate efforts across all city agencies and monitor any potential threats. The city's Joint Information Center is also operational to provide clear, unified communication to the public as well as to the media and other social entities around the city. I am in constant contact with Mayor Bowser and leadership from our partner agencies. Our close and constant collaboration will ensure every asset at the district's disposal is best positioned to ensure safety. To our community, MPD is here to support you and to give you the right to peacefully assemble, and we welcome you to enjoy all that the nation's capital has to offer. And I'll say this again, let me be clear. There will be no tolerance for violence in our city, no destruction or any unlawful behavior. As I've said before, we will hold all offenders accountable. We will not tolerate the destruction of property, and we will not tolerate threats to public safety as well as this election process. Should it require additional time to know the results of this election, we want everyone to know that we are ready to handle many different scenarios, and we have the right people in place to keep our city safe. As always, we need the community's help to be an extra set of eyes and ears and report any suspicious or concerning activity. Remember, if you see something, say something. And for emergencies, we ask that you call 911, report tips at 202-727-9099, or you may text us at 50411, or if you're one of the fancy technology folks and you don't want to use the phone and you want to stay on your emails, you can email iwatchdc.org. We will continue to provide timely updates through MPD's social media channels, including road closures, mass transit impacts, and significant events impacting the city. Thank you again for your continued support and cooperation, and I will now turn it back over to Mayor Bowser.
Take a few questions. Yes, please identify yourself.
Hi, Mayor Bowser,
Got
Gabe Cohen.
directly into some light, so
Okay.
I can't see you, but
That's all right.
I trust that you're there.
I'm Gabe Cohen from CNN. Two questions for you. First, are there any plans to request National Guard assistance in the days ahead? And then second, I'm curious your reaction to the downtown businesses that have boarded up or the fencing that's gone up around the White House and the Naval Observatory.
So thank you for that question. And as we have briefed out previously throughout this election period, and we consider the election period starting with the Vice President's speech last week through the inauguration, we, of course, will rely on MPD, local federal enforcement, and we expect to make a National Guard request during that period. Secondly, you ask about what businesses can do. We want our businesses to stay in touch with us, with their business improvement districts as well, where we're giving out timely information. And we will continue to give them timely information. As you heard the chief say, we don't have credible threats of violence in our city, and we want to keep the public informed of everything that we know when we know it. The chief is also very focused on commercial district deployments. So while we're talking a lot, and we will talk a lot about our support of all of the election-related events, MPD is out in all 8 wards and is very focused on commercial districts in all 8 wards. So we will continue to share that information with our business partners so that they know what we know, and we trust that they will make the right decisions. Lastly, there's in what we expected was that especially around our federal parcels, that they would harden those environments for security purposes. We continue to work with them on their strategies, and we're looking forward to having successful events in the district. Any other questions?
Just to follow up on the boarding of businesses, last week you sort of indicated you didn't necessarily think businesses needed to be doing that, and yet we're starting to see more and more. So just your reaction specifically to the fact that businesses feel compelled to continue boarding up, especially downtown.
I don't know if I have anything else to add. We continue to encourage those businesses to be, I think we had a call last week where hundreds of businesses dialed in with their business improvement districts and other business partners. And so, you know, people will make different decisions for different reasons, and we want them to stay in touch with us so that they know the latest.
And then this might be a question for Chief Smith.
Sure.
We've seen at least, I guess, a dozen, 18 or so kind of permits that have already been filed. Can you just talk about the district's sort of communication with the people who organize these and kind of how you all try to stay ahead of permitted rallies and kind of what to expect as they happen?
Well, as you know, and thank you for the question. As you know, our Special Operations Division is where a lot of the district permit application process takes place. And you also know that the National Park Service also has a permitting process. And specifically with theirs, when they have organizers, we collectively as a team, our Special Operation Division members as well as the National Park Service, we come together, we collaborate with those organizers, because as you know, if it happens on the federal property, it's going to extend to the district streets and what have you, and we're going to have to monitor those groups that are marching around the city. So there's a collaborative effort almost on a weekly, if sometimes not daily basis, on who these groups are, who the organizers are, and what is the anticipated number of people that will be participating. And then we build out our strategy specifically around that. And we've been doing this for a number of years. This isn't anything new. This event with respect to the election process, the January 6th certification, and as well as the inauguration, is something that all of the local, state, and federal partners have been doing for many years, even while I was at Park Police, and even more so now.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Over here.
Good afternoon, Randy Bass with DC News Now. Spoke with a lot of people this morning. Election anxiety in general is just very high among Washingtonians. What do you say to them to help, quell some of their concerns, people living downtown especially?
Well, we just had a 2-hour interfaith service, so I can't speak for everybody, but I know people of faith are praying for, that our country lives up to its values, and that certainly we can support our values in the district. So I don't know if I have a secret word other than everybody is, I think, feeling a little anxious. And I think in a way that former Mayor Sharon Pratt eloquently said, that it's not just about whether one candidate or the other wins in her estimation, and I think mine too. It's about what's at stake for our nation. And we have two distinct choices, and I think people feel a little powerless, especially for us who don't live in swing states. But we do still have power because we have to exercise our votes. We have local races here in the district. We have an initiative here in the district. And it's always important, from my point of view, that when I'm arguing for the district, that people vote in D.C. to show that they are interested and empowered and ready to advance to statehood. So we want DC residents to go out to vote, but I still implore everyone to be patient. This may not be a case where we know who the winner is on Tuesday, and that too is expected. The other thing to be patient is that one candidate may declare a victory based on nothing, not based on results that are coming out of the states. And so again, that is expected, so people should continue to be patient. The other thing, which is entirely possible as well, is that we could have a winner tomorrow. And the winning side, wants to celebrate, and we want them to celebrate peacefully and responsibly as well. And the losing side, and the chief has already addressed this, may be feeling destructive, and that is not going to be tolerated. So that's our message. Everybody's feeling a little bit anxious. Do what you can, but also take care of yourself. And we have lots of resources in the district for people who need to talk to someone.
Hi, Mayor Bowser, Justin Papp with Roll Call. Can you talk about the way the city is partnering with Capitol Police, and if there's any specific security measures for around the Capitol campus in the coming days and weeks?
Sure. Let me ask the chief to address your question.
I'm not sure where you are, but I'm sure you're hiding behind the light as well. But to answer your question, we are in close contact with the U.S. Capitol Police, as with our other federal partners, on a regular basis and daily basis. And again, if Secret Service again chose to put up anti-scale fencing around Lafayette Square and around the White House complex, that is their decision. Our job is to support them. And the same rule applies with the U.S. Capitol Police. We work in tandem with them for a lot of events across the District of Columbia, and we don't expect this period of time to be any different.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Shimon Prokopis from CNN. This way again, also, Chief.
Yes. Which way?
The way where you were just
Oh,
before.
God, could y'all just come out behind the light?
Sorry, I know. I have a question about Howard University and the crowd control. Will people be allowed to stream in, hang out around there? I mean, last time the vice president had an event at the Ellipse. There was massive crowds. Are we expecting the same here? Will people be allowed to linger on the outside?
Absolutely.
Is there anything to do in terms of crowd control in that case?
The same thing we've always done with crowd control and crowd management. As you know, there will be a ticketed event on the yard at campus, at Howard's campus, and there will be personnel assigned to manage that crowd. As I've stated before, whenever there are permitted events, whether it's on federal property, whether it's on private property, the Metropolitan Police Department owns the rest of the land. And so what we will do, just as we've done before with the 80,000, 20,000, 30,000, we will make sure that we already have a crowd management plan in place to ensure that everyone has a safe event. Yes, sir.
Over here, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Well, I have one for the chief and one for the mayor.
Okay.
Chief, since you're there, Mark Seagraves.
Yes. Hey, Mark.
Hey, this is actually, I don't know if this is related to tomorrow or not, but we're seeing pictures circulating of what appear to be MPD that you're renting cars and putting MPD magnets and temporary light bars.
Sure.
Can you tell us why you're doing this? How many of these vehicles? And what should people expect? Because quite honestly, at least at the pictures that I've seen, I don't know that I would pull over for one. I mean, they don't really look legit. And so could you speak to this and tell me how many there are out there and why?
Well, let me clarify the fact that they are legit. And then the second piece of it is that they're only being used for traffic posts. One of the things that I have to make a decision about is how we patrol the rest of the District of Columbia and the residential areas that people are concerned about. We hear people talk about anxiety. Well, we have residents that live here, despite the fact that there's going to be large crowds in the area, we still have to manage the rest of the workforce. And so the decision that was made was for us to use those vehicles specifically for traffic closures and traffic posts. It's not anything that we've done before in the past. By having the lights and having the magnets on the cars gives us a visible presence. The officers will be in full uniform. They will have readily identifiable information, identifying information on their outerwear. So if there's a concern or a question about who they are, they will be static. They will not be roving around our city. And then once the events are over, we will return the vehicles from which we've received them.
Can you tell us how many vehicles?
I will not share the number of vehicles that we have in that space for security reasons.
Okay, and I appreciate that. Mayor
Yes, sir.
Bowser, could I ask just for a little bit of clarification on the National Guard? I may not have heard your full statement on that. I believe you said you expect to request the National Guard sometime between now and Inauguration Day. Is that?
That's correct.
Do you know when you would make that request?
I think when we spoke last, we're likely to make a preliminary overture to the Guard to let them know what our planning is, and then we'll make a formal request. And I can't give you the exact date, but understand this. And there was an earlier question about our coordination with the Capitol. As you know, we requested that January 6th, in addition to the days around the inauguration, be named a national special security event. And in that process, we work with Secret Service on the total request for the event, and that includes the National Guard. We understand, and the Commander General was with us a little bit earlier at Shiloh. We understand that they're planning and thinking in the very significant troop request that they're going to be planning for.
Just to be clear, though, there's been no preliminary or any type of
Mark,
for
I mean,
tomorrow.
I said, for tomorrow. No, we're talking about the inauguration period. I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Mayor, Matt Delaney with the Washington Times. Just curious, is there any election scenario or even election outcome that you fear could cause the most trouble for the city from a safety perspective?
I mean, the scenario that would cause us the most trouble is any person coming to the district or who's in the district who is doing anything but planning to peacefully celebrate or demonstrate. That's the scenario. And it could come from either side.
And just one quick one for the chief. Are there any activist groups or people from certain ideologies that you guys are monitoring ahead of the election?
No, at this time we don't have any identifiable threats or any pro or con groups. We just don't see anything right now based on our intelligence gathering at this point.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Beatrice Peterson, ABC News. Given that we're at the Joint Operations Command Center and the JIC will also be activated, can you discuss a little bit about the role that these spaces will play in ensuring safety within this week? And also, my second question is, will there be any out-of-state law enforcement that might be assisting with this week?
You always ask two-part questions, don't you? Because you know I can't keep up with that second question. But anyway, so with respect to how the Joint Operation Command Center will operate, it will operate, and I know you're not aware of this, but we bring in all of our law enforcement partners whenever we have significant events like NATO Summit. We also bring them in on some Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights just to address real crime. We have cameras in here, and this facility or this room can pick up cameras across the entire District of Columbia where we have them posted. And so it's a joint collaboration with respect to making sure that our law enforcement partners and our fire and EMS, and sometimes we have the U.S. Attorney and Office of Attorney General personnel also embedded in this space with us to help us to address the different concerns that we see across our city, usually overnight, and for this particular case during this time period of Monday through Friday. What was your second question? See?
The first question, well, I think you both answered both of them. It was about out-of-state law enforcement.
Yeah, and so we out of state for this period, we did not request any out of state. I don't really consider, Maryland, Virginia out of state, but we did request mutual aid from both Maryland and Virginia, and we are happy to say that those agencies will be supporting us in this election period process as requested from Monday through Friday.
A few more.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Clint Osborne, and I'm the director of the DC Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency, and this is in response to Beatrice's question about the centers. The Joint Operations Command Center, as the chief said, looks at all of the law enforcement operations that are going on around the city and coordinates on the ground to meet the needs of what's going on around the city. You'll also hear about, as the mayor and the chief said, the Emergency Operations Center, which is a step up from that. We support the Joint Operations Command Center from MPD. We also support the other agencies that have operations centers going now and during other events. So, for example, our Fire Operations Center runs 24 hours a day looking at fire and EMS operations. And so anytime one of those centers says, hey, we need something, we need some support or some coordination, that's what the Emergency Operations Center is there to do. Primarily tomorrow, as the mayor said, our elections are run by the Board of Elections, but we have a number of agencies that can, upon request, provide support. They will be collected at the Emergency Operations Center tomorrow, as the mayor said, to ensure a safe and secure and productive elections process. And then finally, we will have, as the mayor said, the Joint Information Center will be activated, and that's the group of folks, that's our communicators, our public affairs officers from around the district and all the agencies who work together to make sure that we're tracking information and getting you all timely updates as we go through the day.
And we'll take a few more. Yes.
Hi, Ellie Silverman with the Washington Post. I was at the prayer service this morning at Shiloh, and Mayor Bowser, in your speech you talked about the historic nature of this election, of the church, and in your speech sought to reassure Washingtonians about their own anxieties. And my question for you is, how are you feeling? What's the mood like in the Wilson building? How are you sleeping? Just like overall, you personally, how are you feeling ahead of the election?
I feel very strong about the district's preparation. I feel very sad that this the state of things, to be honest with you. But the way that I deal with anxiety is to work and to make sure that we are as prepared as we can be, and that all people, win or lose, do the right thing. And that is important. I'm also the leader of 37,000 people who make this city hum, and I'm very proud of the way that they have conducted themselves and prepared. I am also cognizant that many of them feel triggered by these events, from the events of 4 years ago, and that they have to take care of themselves so that they can show up and be what the residents of the district need. So we are, operating in a space that is our duty, and we're proud to do this work, and we're looking forward to the American people doing what they need to do tomorrow to vote and to exercise their vote. But what I said earlier in Shiloh, and what you probably heard from the message from our keynote speaker, is that there's going to be an election tomorrow, and then the next day is Wednesday. And then there's Thursday, and we're still going to be Washington, D.C., and I'm still going to be the mayor. Yep. That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Good, good. Thank you. Everybody good? Especially on audio. Okay.